Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. Today is a requested video from someone who's going to be taking a solo trip soon and wanted to know, what is it really like to do solo character dining? I feel like this is definitely a question a lot of people ask themselves. For some people, just dining at a regular restaurant by yourself is already awkward and something that you kind of have to get over the hurdle of. When you add in interactions with characters, it seems like it could be even more awkward, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about what the experience is like. So personally, I've experienced with character dining solo once. I did this at Tusker House in Animal Kingdom. Tusker House is a restaurant in Africa. It is character dining, it is a buffet, and I did this on my own because I had never eaten there before and I really wanted to. I will admit that the idea of it being character dining also did make me a little apprehensive because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to be focused on or if I was going to be bypassed. Was it going to be awkward? And they have, you know, the classic characters there to me. I believe it was Goofy and Donald and Mickey and Minnie. I believe it was all four of them who were there. It is, like I said, buffet, so you're also going to be getting up and serving yourself, you know, during that meal. When I went to Tusker House, they did sit me kind of in a corner seat, which was something that did feel a little bit weird. I would have actually minded less if I was like more in the middle of the action and the middle of tables, but they put me in this really back corner that was kind of near like a kitchen door or something like that. You know, it was a two-person table and it was just me. And so I think that in itself did make things feel a little awkward at first because I felt like I was kind of shoved in the back. So I think like if something like that is gonna make you feel more awkward, maybe you can request a different kind of seat. That said, you know, I feel like the cast members were really kind and attentive. My server was great. As I've said with other restaurant experiences solo, they never make you feel left out or weird. They're just as attentive as they are with everyone else. In fact, sometimes they want to have a conversation with you because you're by yourself, which I actually prefer and like. It just makes things a little less weird, makes you feel more comfortable. So I do remember my server being very good. So that was that. I got my food, I sat down, and now to the part that I know a lot of you are really curious about. What is it like when you're interacting with characters and you're alone? Honestly, if you've done meet and greets alone, you can do character dining alone. All you're doing is mixing the act of dining and the characters together. It's not that different and not that big of a deal. So I think it's the same sort of thing. I think it's the same sort of thing. You're going to get your photo together with the character. You're gonna be able to have time to interact with them. They all came up to my table, even though I was sitting in that back corner. It was being like super funny. I took selfies with Donald and Goofy. And overall, the interactions were good, if quick. I do feel like I had less time spent with me than they do with other people. Granted, when you have a group of people, they need to make sure that every single person kind of feels interacted with, so that might be part of the reason why they spend more time. Of course, they're gonna probably spend more time with kids as well. But overall, I felt like they were really quick with me. It was very like, here's a quick interaction. Let's take a professional, you know, cast member taking photo together. Let's do the selfie, and then they left. Now, again, this is just one experience at Tusker House. I don't know how this would work at Crystal Palace or Garden Grill or any of those other places that you could dine and meet characters. So I don't want to say that that is a given no matter where you dine solo, but I will say that I did feel like my interactions were rushed because I was by myself. Took photos as always, as they do with everyone else, which was really cool. And that was pretty much it. It was kind of over before I knew it. Finished up my food and kind of headed off. Do I feel like it was a little awkward with some of the other guests? A bit when the characters came to me, because obviously they are looking at the characters, right? Everyone's like, ooh, there's Donald. I want to see what he's doing, interacting with these people over there, and he's coming to us next. And so you're watching where they are. And so naturally people saw that I was by myself interacting with these characters, but I always say that whatever awkwardness that you feel about that, that's all inside of you. I mean, nobody who was looking at me had a look on their face that said, what is she doing? Or said anything to me or anything like that. I think that the awkwardness that we feel in those scenarios is all just internal and in our own minds, and we kind of make it. So I don't think that it should deter anyone from doing it, but do realize that people are gonna look at you when the characters are with you because they want to look at the characters, you know, like that's just the natural thing. You want to see what the characters are doing. That was probably one of my biggest hurdles as a solo traveler, was doing character dining alone, but I actually really ended up liking the experience if the interactions were a bit short, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to do it again. So I'm actually thinking that the next time I get down there, whenever that might be, still trying to figure that out, I might want to do Crystal Palace solo breakfast. I really like the buffet breakfast there. I've done it before with friends. I've just never done it alone, and would like to really see how those Winnie the Pooh characters interact, and what that might be like in comparison to my Tusker House experience. I hope that this helped those who asked the question about it. I don't think that you should fear it, but again, we all have different levels of how we interact socially and what we're comfortable with, what our like status quo is. So if you do feel like you don't want to do it, that's 100% okay. Remember, you can always do your solo trip your way. Do not ever feel pressured to put yourself in a situation that is going to be too anxiety inducing, because it's just not worth ruining your vacation over. If you've done character dining solo, gosh, getting those words out. If you've done character dining solo before, I would love to know your experience in the comments below. Where did you go? What did you eat? How was the character interactions? Please let me and everyone else know in the comments below. If you like this video, you should like it. If you like me, you should subscribe, because I make videos every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.